If Nico Williams and Marcus Rashford land Barcelona next season, Real Madrid doesn't have to get ready. The world has to get ready. Hello guys, AG Fessor right here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about, a certain topic. I'm going to talk about a certain topic, and that has to do with Barcelona and the signing of Nico Williams and the pursuit of Nico Williams and what is going on around not just Nico Williams but Marcus Rashford. And I'm here to talk about, the impact, what could possibly go next season with these guys in this team. With these guys in this team, what can possibly go good. So I'm going to talk about all this stuff here. So I'll say, stay tuned. Stay tuned. If you can, subscribe. I'll subscribe to my YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube and all this kind of stuff. And let's get straight into it with what I want to do for today. Yeah, this is where the topic begins and all that stuff. So according to reports, right, Barcelona will soon get the Nico Williams deal done in about maybe next week. And then you look at Marcus Rashford, who could potentially be going to Barcelona on a loan deal. So that's like, about two signings that FC Barcelona is going to make next season. So when I look at this, right, when I look at this critically from a point of view, when you have, because I think in terms of effect, with Nico Williams on the left, with Rashford as the center, with Lamine Yamal on the right, with Rafinha as the attacking midfielder, and then you have your two game dictators, which is Pedri and De Jong, and then you still have Marc Asado, who can, be maybe a starter as the number 6 position. So when you look at it critically, Barcelona is not a team to joke with next season. I'll tell you this now, and I'll tell you this straight. They are not a team to really mess around with next season, because the caliber of players that Barcelona will get if they sign Rashford, if they sign the level of talent in that team. And don't forget the fact that La Masia is still the best academy in the world. It's still the best academy in the world. So when you look at it from a point of view, right, Barcelona is looking scary next season. And I feel like people should not like be joking, because when I tell you that, bro, you see, if Nico Williams and Marcus Rashford land Barcelona next season, if Nico Williams, just hear me loud, hear me loud and clear. Save it, take it or leave it, whatever. Maybe come, you might even throw me. I don't know, I don't care. If Nico Williams and Marcus Rashford land Barcelona next season, Real Madrid doesn't have to get ready. The world has to get ready. Because you don't understand. When you have Nico Williams on the left, Yamal on the right, and you have Rashford, you can't clamp the speed of these four, especially not just the three. Nico, Yamal, Rashford, and Rafinha. The level of pace at which these brothers can operate at, the level of pace these guys have. Nico Williams is a very, very fast attacker. Rashford too is very fast. Lamine Yamal, very fast as well. Then you have Rafinha too, a very, very fast player. And he's also someone that can play in that number 10 position. I'm telling you guys, if Nico Williams, and especially not just Nico Williams, Rashford, if they land Barcelona, not just that, Real Madrid have to get ready. World has to get ready. Bayern needs to get ready. Man City needs to get ready. Liverpool has to get ready. Arsenal has to get ready. Paris Saint-Germain has to get ready. Because the level of the crop of attackers, the crop of the crop of talents that we are seeing next season of this team is something really to watch out for. It's something really to watch out for because I'm just telling you, imagine you have a team of Yamal, a top class player like Yamal. You don't have NICO Williams. You don't have Marcus Rashford. You don't have Rafinha. Bro, that stuff is going to be so threatening next season. It's really going to be threatening next season. It's really, 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 really going to be threatening next season. And that's what I'm saying. People should not even joke with it. Especially with the fact that, forget the fact that maybe Real Madrid's on with Mbappe didn't work. That one is different. We have our own different. Why is it different? Because we had a coach who was more tactical. We had a coach who had the winning mentality and all that stuff, and he's a very tactical coach, and he's a coach that is known for developing players. So of course, I was expecting that Barcelona will be able to have, with the caliber of players that Barcelona also have. Of course, I was expecting Barcelona to be able to compete with Real Madrid before the start of the season. Many people didn't expect that, but I, as a Barcelona fan, I expected it. So looking at it now, back to what I was saying, the difference between Real Madrid is that Real Madrid's own is that the problem is that they just don't have midfielders that can control the tempo of the game. Midfielders that can control a game for 90 minutes. That they can do. They're those kind of midfielders that can provide fluidity in that team. That is a team that they are fluid. A team that when they have that game dictator, they will play as fluid. And that's the problem with Real Madrid, right? They just don't have that game dictator. They just don't have that game dictator. So I feel like that's the case with Barcelona. Barcelona is different. You have Pedri. You want to compare Valverde. Now, listen, I'm not saying that all those Real Madrid midfielders are bad. But the problem here is that majority of those guys are box-to-box midfielders. You want to tell me you want to compare in terms of like controlling the game, in terms of making game fluid. You tell me you want to compare Valverde, Tchouaméni, what's his name again? Camavinga, and those guys. You want to compare that to Pedri and De Jong in the same team? This is not. I'm telling you, this is FC Barcelona. Look at the midfielders Barcelona have. Pedri and De Jong. Casado too is also there. Marc Bernal too is also there. Marc Bernal too is also a good player. Marc Bernal can also, I've not seen much of him, but I think he's also a player that can control the game as well. So when you look at Barcelona's midfield next season, when you can't even contain that midfield next season, it's going to be difficult to stop the attack. Because I will keep on saying it in a team. In a team of midfielders, you cannot say you want to win trophies without a deep lying playmaker, without without a player that can dictate the tempo of the game. You can't. It's not possible. Go and check for the past 10 years. Teams that have won the Champions League, you clearly see that most of these guys, they can't win the Champions League without a game dictator. Because it's so simple, they will just not play as fluid. Why do you think when Toni Kroos left Real Madrid, it was a very big blow to Real Madrid? Because Real Madrid does not play as fluid without Toni Kroos. Toni Kroos is the glue. They don't play as fluid without him. For example, look at the teams that won the Champions League. Look at the midfielders that they had. In 2023, Man City had a game dictator. They had Gundogan, they had Rodri. In 2024, Real Madrid won the Champions League. Toni Kroos was their game dictator. 2022, Kroos, Modric. 2021 for Chelsea, if I can remember correctly, there was Jorginho. Jorginho was a defensive mid, but Jorginho was not a box-to-box. Jorginho could control the tempo of the game. In 2020, Bayern Munich had Kimmich. Of course, Kimmich is also a game dictator. Goretzka, Goretzka as well too is also a game dictator. In 2019, Jordan Henderson and who are the other? I don't think I can remember the other midfielder, but Liverpool surely had a game dictator. Liverpool had someone that will control the tempo of the game. In 2018, look at the other teams, Kroos, Modric. You need a game dictator if you want to dominate in Europe. You need that control of the game. You need to have that midfielder that can control the tempo of the game. Without that, your team is going to be blank. When you're going up against teams that play very, very fluid football, and you without a proper midfielder, without a midfielder that can control the tempo of the game, you want to go and compete with that team, it's not going to be possible. It's not going to be possible. So looking at this Barcelona team right now, just look at it. I'll say the starting next side. Juan Garcia as the goalkeeper. Because and let me just say now, I believe that Barcelona too defensively are also going to be better next season. Forget attack. I'll come back. I'm coming back to that very soon. But I want to just, this is the main point now. Juan Garcia as the goalkeeper. Alejandro Balde on the left. Inigo Martinez as the centre back. Pau Kubasi, Eric Garcia too, because we can't count Eric Garcia out because he's a very good player. Jules Koundé, Casado, De Jong, Pedri, Rafinha, Olmo, Fermin, Rashford, Lamine Yamal, NICO, if that happens. So you can clearly see, and especially most importantly, when you have that midfield that can dictate the game, that can control the tempo of the game, it's going to be difficult to stop Barcelona. It's going to be difficult to stop Barcelona next season. If NICO and Rashford land Barcelona, now listen, I don't rule out the possibilities of any team, being able to this thing, but this is just my prediction, honestly. Barcelona is most likely they're going to win the La Liga. Most likely, they will most likely, in fact, they're going to win the quadruple. Most likely, they're going to win the quadruple. The Champions League, they'll win it. The La Liga, they'll win it. The Copa del Rey, they'll win it. The Spanish Super Cup, they'll win it. Because as far as I'm concerned, apart from Real Madrid, there's no team next season that can compete with Barcelona. Atletico Madrid, with Diego Simeone, with that coach that is still coaching them, and you think they want to dominate anything next season? Not possible. So I look at it critically, and I feel like Barcelona can win the quadruple. Although, like I said, I don't rule out the possibility of maybe Real Madrid winning the league or all that stuff. Right, but I'm confident in my team, and I'm sure that next season we're going to next season and we're going to defend our La Liga title. But you can clearly see that I believe that Barcelona is going to be a very, very scary team next season, especially if Hansi Flick develops these players well. With the coach, the most important, you have to look at the coach. You have to look at who is coaching these players. Bro, if Nico Williams and Marcus Rashford land Barcelona, world has to get ready. The world has to get ready. It's not going to be easy at all. Because if you're not ready, the way Barcelona can dominate you for 90 minutes, attacking wise, defensive, everything, bro. The team right now, looking at it, if Barca complete these signings, our team is complete. It's complete. Yeah, it's complete. So, and then you look at the defenders we have, I feel like many people will say this, but I think like Gerard Martin too, next season can make somewhat of a difference. We've seen him that he can turn up in big moments. Yeah, but he still has time to improve. So yeah, let's get to the defense part. I want to explain the defense as well. Now I even want to get to like even the defending. And that's one of the most important. Now you can click. Now if we look at this season, right? Of course, this season Barcelona has been a bit fragile in defense this season. Now, people look at it from a different perspective. Like some Barcelona fans even believe that, okay, Barcelona should go and sign defenders. But let me tell you the reason. There are a few reasons. For someone that watch football clearly, if you pay attention to the performance, if you pay attention to key details when you watch a game of football, then you should understand one reason why FC Barcelona concedes a lot of goals. Now, let me tell you why. Number one thing is that you have to even look at the coach first. Because I always say this thing, and this is a problem here in Barcelona. This high line that we play. Now, I'm not saying that we should not play a high line, but you have to make it organized. The way we just play high line so unnecessary is very, very poor. It's very, very, like we make our high line so fragile for teams to just break into it. We make our high line so fragile. We don't know how to dictate. Okay, in this kind of situation on the field, are you going to play a high line or are you going to track back? So that's one problem I've seen with Barcelona this season, and that's something they need to work on. This is something I feel like Hansi Flick needs to pay attention, because it's not just attack we have to prioritize. The defense is very, very, very important. Because I've complained about this thing a lot about Barcelona. We can't consistently keep a clean sheet. We don't know how to keep a clean sheet. Although, yes, we've improved a little, but the cracks are still showing. So I do believe that Barcelona has a lot of work to do in that defense. Number one is Hansi Flick. I've always said this thing, I'll say it here. You cannot choose to play a high line defense when the opposing team is under a quick transition. When they get the ball and they are transitioning quickly, they are moving fast, the sense should tell the defenders that you need to track back. You need to track back. You need to defend. You can't unnecessarily play a high line when a team is on that transition. Your high line will become fragile. Your high line will become breakable. Especially, it's even worse if your midfielders cannot recover the ball. It's worse when your midfielders cannot recover the ball. It's going to be worse. It's going to be worse when your midfielders cannot track back and recover the ball. Because normally Barcelona is a constant pressure team. We're meant to be applying constant pressure on our opponents. We're meant to be applying constant pressure. So Barcelona is that team that that's what makes it difficult to even break more into their highland first. The fact that the players, the attack and the midfield, they will put constant pressure. So constant pressure is one thing that we use, right? So that's one thing Barcelona should change. The only time I feel like we should be playing the high line, we can push up high up the field, is when the tempo of the game is slowed down. When the tempo of the game is slowed down, that's why I say, I can push up high a bit. I can play that high line defense. I can even start to structure my high line well, so that the opposing team, that the attackers will not be able to even notice that they are in an offside position. It has to just do with using the brain cells to think. Using the brain cells to think, right? So at the end of the day, Barcelona has to work on that. And Flick needs to find a way to change that his high line, his defensive. He has to tweak the system. Because you cannot continue to just unnecessarily play high line so carelessly. You play the high line so carelessly, and we're pushing too high up. We even saw the mistakes that he did against Inter. Sometimes, why would you play a proper high line against a team that plays wing backs? Your high line is going to be fragile, because what is the purpose of your high line? What is the purpose of that offside trap? You are trying to trap the final third offside, the front three of your attack offside. That's what you're trying to do. And you can't do that when a team is playing wing backs, when a team is just sitting back. Because the only intent is you will trap the two strikers offside, but you cannot trap the wing backs offside. They will just run into your defense and they will score. It's as simple as that. It really is as simple as that. So you can't just afford to do that. You cannot do that. You need to use your brain. Say, like I said, when that team is on that transition, track back and defend. Track back and even set your offside trap well. In a way, I saw it, like at some point, I even saw it in some of our matches, whereby Barcelona will play a high line, right? And you can clearly see that, sometimes Barcelona will track back, and then slowly, a team will just try to pass the ball inside. Next you know, offside. But you see, with the games I saw against Inter, and so it's clear that we were not playing that high line well. So that has to change next season. Now, to number 2, right? Another reason why our defense is a bit fragile is because we don't have a reliable goalkeeper. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but let me explain. Ter Stegen, obviously, that's the one is a different story. He's not reliable at all. He has to go. He's not reliable at all. He has to go. Like, almost, he just can't be the goalkeeper for Barcelona anymore. Like, there's a lot of problems with him. He lets balls enter him so easily. He's just not good enough to, And I feel like he's someone that could cost us next year. But who knows? Maybe if he improves, but I want him to go. We Barca fans, we want him out. Right? We want him out of the club. So I don't want him to stay. So that's one thing. Right? That's one thing. And another one, right? I said it now. Forget Ter Stegen. Let's talk about Chesney. Let's talk about Chesney. Now you see, as much as you want to say Chesney this season, like, okay, sorry, pardon me. As much as you want to say Chesney this season, he has been good. But I'm telling you now, even when you put Chesney in majority of some of our big games that we played this season, Chesney is not reliable. Don't allow the high line. It's because most of the time, if you watch some of our games, our high line used to save us like crazy. Our high line used to save us like crazy. Chesney is not reliable. And another thing, my concern about Chesney, that he's old. He's losing that, mobility. He's losing that agility. The guy, he finds, you see that sometimes even in the post, he's so sluggish. He's sluggish. Look at most of the saves. Like, he just reacts so slow. He's so slow when it comes to reaction and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like Chesney is not reliable next season. If you watch some of my games, you can clearly see that Chesney, if we have to go into next season with Chesney as the main choice goalkeeper, it will be a big mistake. It will be a big mistake because he's not reliable. He's not reliable anymore. I've said it, and he has to just go. Because look at the disaster class he had against Inter across the two legs, especially the second leg. Now forget the fact that Araujo even cost us that this thing. You can clearly see that some of Chesney's mistakes cost us the match. You see that some of Chesney's mistakes, because look at was it David Frates? Yes, David Frates' goal. That one that led to the fourth goal. Like this is like something like common sense to you. Why are you you can clearly see that the ball is being passed to a player who is in a dangerous position to score. Why are you standing in the near post? Why not shift your body a little and then go far post and save the ball? Why are you standing near post? Why are you standing near post? Why are you standing there? It doesn't make any sense. You can't do that. You're supposed to shift this thing a little and go and save the ball. If you had done that, Inter would not have scored the fourth goal. Maybe would have even qualified. Or maybe would have won the Champions League. Another thing is that, what was it? Was it the first goal? No, wasn't the first goal. No, the third goal. Yes, the third goal. Acerbi scored that goal. Yes, that goal was primarily Araujo's fault. But it's also his fault because Chesney couldn't even react on time to save that. You can, like, that is something someone like Alisson, Donnarumma, someone like even Joan Garcia can save that. And you cannot save that kind of chance. You cannot save that kind of chance. It's shameful in a big game, in a team where you need the most. Over the two legs, you clearly see that Chesney was not very good enough. He was not good. And that's why I'll say this thing about Chesney, right? Don't let the highline deceive you. Don't let some of these key matches of this thing deceive you. Chesney is not reliable next season. I'm happy we've signed Joan Garcia, and he will most likely be the main choice goalkeeper next season. I'm very, very happy, and that's what's going to happen. Being the main choice goalkeeper next season. We can't rely on Chesney next season. We cannot rely on Chesney next season. So these are like maybe like the two major reasons why Barcelona's defense, because Barcelona needs a more reliable goalkeeper. We need a goalkeeper that, dangerous balls. Our defense can have some cracks, and you need that goalkeeper to bail you out of certain situations, to bail you out of those things, and then you have that goalkeeper. So yeah, I feel like if Barcelona can fix these cracks next season, it is going to give us a big edge in our defense next season. I feel like our defense is going to be better. So looking at our defense, right? Looking at the defense, you have Balde, you have Koundé, you have all these guys, you have Joao Garcia. I do feel that Barcelona is going to have a better defense next season. If Hansi Flick does the right things, Barcelona is going to have a proper balanced team, from goalkeeper to defense to midfield to attack. So the defense is something we need to watch out next season. And I do believe that next season, another thing is that I think I'm going to see more action of Eric Garcia. Because I think Eric Garcia is going to be someone that is going to play a key role. I think he's going to be the starting centre back next season, because Inigo Martinez, great player, good player, but you can see that he's getting a bit old, and Eric Garcia has improved himself. Eric Garcia, versatile player, he's a very intelligent player, good in ball playing abilities, good in reading the game, and also he's a sharp guy. He's also good in terms of tracking back, in terms of pace. So that's why I feel that Eric Garcia could bench Inigo Martinez next year. I don't know if he'll bench Pau Kubasi, right? But I think, or I don't know how it's going to go. Maybe it's a case of Eric Garcia and Inigo Martinez will play the centre backs next season. Then maybe Pau Kubasi will be on the bench. But we don't know how it's going to go because, as far as I'm concerned, maybe Inigo Martinez is likely still going to be the starting centre back next season because he was our best centre back this season, and I feel like he can continue that form again next season. So Inigo Martinez is most likely, going to be that guy that is going to be our centre back. So that's all I can say. I feel like our defense is going to be very good next season. So yeah, I feel like that's something that I feel like is going to improve next season. We'll have to wait and see, but I feel like it's going to improve next season. So yeah, that's it. Wrapped up. All those kinds of stuff. That's all my wrapped up on my topic and how dangerous can Barcelona be next season. So we don't know, what we can see from Barcelona next season. But I'm convinced that next season, especially if we can make these signings, oh no, we're cooking something next season. We are really, 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 really cooking something next season. And so I do believe, yeah, like I said, if NICO and Rashford do land Barcelona, yeah, we know what's coming next. We know what could potentially happen. So yes, guys, let me all know what you think about this situation in the comment section. Type in the comment section what you think, and I'll see you later. Make more videos soon. AG Fessor out.